Welcome to the Military Millionaire channel. I'm David Pere, your host and the founder of the Military Millionaire community, which is dedicated to helping service members learn how to build wealth through real estate, entrepreneurship, personal finance, and whatever else I feel like talking about. So today's video is going to be 6 simple steps that you can take to get rich in the military this year. Make sure you stick around because they're all important, and if you want to get rich, you need to handle all of them. The first step to getting rich in the military is the first one you'll handle as soon as you join anyway, setting up your thrift savings plan. You should never contribute less than 10% of your income, and you should start immediately. Your thrift savings plan is our 401k. I've got extensive videos on why this is so powerful and important. I'll tell you what, if I'd known what I knew now, I would have double, maybe triple what I have in that account right now, just by setting things up the right way. So the first thing you're gonna do is set your allotment to an automatic 10%, especially if you're on the blended retirement system, because they're going to match 5%, so that's 15% of your base pay that will get contributed every month. The more, the merrier with this. I am currently putting in 60% of my income into my thrift savings plan just so I can max it out before I EAS next year. That being said, oh, and in case I get all the questions in the comments, I'm planning on going into the reserves because I've had some really cool opportunities through this community and I want to take them to serve you. But I digress. That's not what this video is about. Thrift savings plan, absolutely 10%. 20's better, 30's better. You can do 30% while living in the barracks for sure because you got almost no expenses. And if you increase it to that immediately after you go to boot camp, you're not going to notice the money's gone. And the great thing is every time you get promoted or a pay raise, you can add 2%. So let's say you got a 3% pay raise, increase your TSP by 2%, you still got 1% pay raise, but you're contributing more to your retirement. Thrift savings plan is great because it's tax advantage. You don't see it, you won't touch it, you won't mess with it, and it'll compound over time until you retire. So it's money that you can use in retirement if you need it. It's money that you can give to your kids or charities if you don't need it because you set yourself up well through the rest of this. And it's a super duper emergency fund, right? So whenever this word that will get me shadow banned on YouTube about the sickness thing in 2020 happened, everybody was freaking out about what happened if their tenants stopped paying rent. And I was able to look at my thrift savings plan and go, if all of my rental units went vacant, I could cover the mortgages for the next 18 months just out of that. Obviously, they didn't all go vacant, so I didn't have to touch it, but it's nice to know that as an emergency fund. The second step is to set up an emergency fund before you do anything else, right? So this is the fund. People say it should be your next 6 months of your expenses. So if you got fired today, you'd be able to cover at least 6 months of all of your current expenses. I've even heard people say a full year. In the military, I don't necessarily think you need more than 3 months because your job's pretty stable unless you do something really stupid, so you know that income's gonna keep going. Now, as you plan to exit the military, you're probably gonna wanna bolster that. But I would say 10K is probably a good starting point, but it may not be that, right? Like I don't have $10,000 sitting in an emergency fund. I have $10,000 sitting in various other funds that I can pull to if I need to. So I just always have that kind of shell gaming around. But 10,000 is kind of a good number for that covers all of your oh crap expenses and gives you a buffer in case you end up getting out of the military and you need some wiggle room there. So, but either way, set up at least a few $1,000s in an emergency fund before you do anything else. So if you overstep or overspend on credit or something, you've got the cash to cover it, and then just don't touch it. Like emergency, unless you absolutely have to, don't touch it. Step 3, this is where things start getting fun. Save money for investing. The more the merrier. So you've got money going in your thrift savings plan. Technically that's already investing, that's gonna help you build wealth, but I like to save money for more investing. Now, if you're a stock person, this could be investing in individual stocks or buying into the Tesla hype or whatever you want to do. This could be index funds, which I love because I'm not really an individual stock person. So you buy into index funds, you just keep buying and the market will increase over time and so will your returns. Or this can be where you set money aside from your future real estate investments. Personally, my favorite. I don't know of a better return than you can get from that. I mean, next week I'm closing on a $200,000 portfolio of homes that just appraised for 280. So me and my partner are walking into $80,000 of equity plus our down payments. So that's a huge bump to the net worth. Absolutely incredible ROI. Don't know anywhere else you can do that or where the bank will give you the money to do that. I mean, the bank is basically giving us $170,000 and we're getting 80,000 or 110,000 in equity. Pretty sweet deal. Anyway, won't get super crazy into that, but start saving money for investing. The more you can save, the better. My advice is figure out what you're spending every month and what you can kind of cut on your expenses, and then put the rest in your investing fund and do that first each month so that you have to live off the expenses. You don't grow and like, oh, we can eat out tonight and spend a little less on, like, make investing your priority. The more money you put in there, especially at a younger age, the earlier you start this, the better you'll be, because compound interest is crazy. So if you start investing at 10 years old, you're going to be way better off than if you start investing at 50 years old, even if you don't know what you're doing when you're 10, right? Like, I promise you, that's just how the numbers work out. Step number 4 is the VA loan, specifically house hacking if you can. Now, this won't be something you can do right away, because if you're in the barracks, you're not really going to be able to justify utilizing the VA loan. But if you're a young lieutenant or officer, or you're married, or you've been in long enough that you can move out of the barracks and you can get some housing allowance, the VA loan is incredibly beneficial because you can get into a house for no money out of pocket. The rates are great. They've got awesome programs in case you get into trouble, which you're not going to, because you're going to watch all my videos on real estate and you're going to know what you're doing. VA loan is super powerful, right? House hacking is even more powerful. That's where you buy, say, a duplex, and you live in one half of the duplex and you rent the other half of the duplex, and their rent covers most of your payment. So you're living almost for free while they're paying down your loan. It's crazy, right? Like, I'm renting rooms out of the house I'm in right now. I got a buddy who bought $1 million plus fourplex in San Diego, and he's getting paid to live in it right now. And he didn't put any money down. In fact, he got a check for like $800 when they closed on the house. Pretty crazy. Now, that's an extreme case, but it's possible to live for free, which means you can take your entire tax-exempt housing allowance, put it in that investing savings account that we were talking about, and use that for more investing. And this will exponentially increase how fast you build wealth, because you've got no living expenses. You're putting more money into your investing. You're learning how to be a landlord. You're paying down your loan. You're getting tax advantages. It is crazy how beneficial house hacking can be. And that can be as simple as buying a 5-bedroom house and renting out other rooms to roommates, right? I got a friend who does that too, and he lives for free in a really, really nice area of town. So definitely some possibilities here. VA loan house hacking is huge. And if you decide to use it, hit me up or go to FromMilitaryToMillionaire.com/VA-Realtor, and I will help you out. There's a short form there. I'll put the link down below. I will introduce you to the agent and lender in your area that I recommend and trust. Because let's face it, I lost 10 grand going through the wrong lender because they talked me out of using the VA loan, and I had to put money down on a house that I never should have done that. So having a good agent and a good lender is huge. Happy to help you. Just let me know. Step number 5 is kind of the rinse and repeat, right? So if you had that VA loan and house hacking, now you move to a new duty station, you can use a VA loan, you can do an FHA loan, maybe you have enough money saved in your investing account, buy another house and another house hack, and do it again, right? You don't have to buy a house at every duty station, but you can buy an investment at every duty station. The difference is this. A house might be this really nice place in this really nice neighborhood that everybody's like, ooh, I can't believe you live in that nice place, nice house. An investment is something that's gonna pay you to own it, right? It doesn't have to be in the nicest house, neighborhood, whatever. Just know the difference. Watch some other videos, reach out to me, happy to help. But repeat, you can use your VA loan again. You might be able to use the FHA loan. You might have the 20% for down payment. Repeat that process. So when you moved out of house 1, it should now be paying you. If you bought right, it'll be paying you on top of everything. So you're not paying a penny on it, and it's giving you money. And then you've got this second house that you're living in for free. So now you're making, let's say you're making an extra $500 off this house. That's an extra $6,000 a year that you can turn around and invest while you're already saving like no living expenses in this house. So this will just exponentially help you out. I have a lot of friends who got financially free doing exactly this. All right, and step 6, this is not the sexy one, but this is the important one. Avoid expense creep. Buy used cars. If you can eat at the chow hall, eat at the chow hall. Stay within your means. Don't increase your expenses with promotion. So let's say you get a $300 pay raise. If you go buy a $300 item to celebrate, that's totally cool. That's totally fine. But what some people will do is they'll say, ooh, I can now afford an extra $200 car payment. So I'll buy a new car with an extra $200 as a car payment. Well, now your $300 pay raise is really only $100 a month. You've just slashed your pay raise down by 2/3. And so don't buy into recurring expenses because your expenses increased, right? Don't say, oh, well, I can buy cable now. I can get this. I can get this. Now I can afford this, because then you're never going to have that extra money to invest. So live at whatever level is comfortable, right? You're either going to need a period of sacrifice now or a period of sacrifice when you're older and didn't plan for retirement. So live a little bit lean now, save some money, Don't grow into your expenses. Like I said, one of the things you can do is just, if you get a 3% pay raise, put 1 or 2% into your thrift savings plan. And that alone means that every time you get a pay raise, you're putting more into investing than you are into your expenses, right? So make sure that you have your expenses under your handle, because I'll tell you what, right? Someone who makes $50,000 a year and saves zero is no better off than somebody who makes $100,000 a year and saves zero, right? They are equally broke. Neither one of them is building wealth. But if you were making $50,000 a year and you lived on 40, you're saving $10,000 a year. If you get a pay raise to 60, now you're saving $20,000 a year unless your expenses increase. So people do this. It happens slowly. It happens naturally. You don't even notice it. Watch your expense creep. Just track what you're spending. You don't have to get super crazy with the budget, but just pay attention to where you're spending your money and make sure it doesn't get, blown out of proportion by you just not being cognizant of it, right? So take the time to understand what your expenses look like, and then don't let them grow on you, right? So these are 6 steps to get rich in the military this year, starting right now. It's super simple. It really is. Invest in your thrift savings plan, have an emergency fund, save more money to invest, house hack, don't blow all your money. That easy, right? It is that easy. My net worth increases every month more than my paycheck, right? And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying, like, I've finally figured out some stuff. It really is that easy. You can do this. I promise you. You can get rich in the military. A ton of people I know have. So make sure you're paying attention to this stuff, and subscribe to the channel and click that little notification bell if you want more tips and tricks for finances or success in your military career, or if you just want to be on the newsletter for when my book comes out, The No BS Guide to Military Finance, which will be out in a few months. Smash the like button if you got something out of this. And really, here's the huge thing, right? If you got something out of this, this is what would really help me. Share it on your Facebook or with somebody that you think would benefit from it. If you know a service member and you share this to them, it will help change their life. The more service members we can get in front of, the better we'll be, right? I want to build a service, like just a military group of freaking millionaires taking over the world. That sounds crazy. But anyway, look, love you all. Have a great night. Subscribe if you haven't yet.